Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make a side fan fold spiral. I prepped the shirt like normal and I have it turned inside out. I'm going to do this design on a women's t-shirt that is a V-neck. So the fabric is 100% cotton, but it's a little bit thinner than like a Gildan Ultra Cotton shirt. It's also a little softer, and I personally think some of the softer shirts are a little bit more difficult sometimes to make nice, clean fan folds with. Using an old piece of sinew and a washable marker, I'm going to make a mark on the side of the shirt where I'd like the center of my fan fold to be. Then I'm going to place my sinew on that mark and draw part of a circle or an arc on the shirt. Then I'm going to draw a couple more lines just like this one on the shirt, just out a little further. These are going to help me when I'm fan folding the shirt, kind of line up the folds a little bit. Okay, so now it's time to start fan folding. And I'm going to start fan folding on the center line that I drew. Once I get this initial line fan folded, I'm going to hold the folds in place with some kite string. Then I'm going to straighten the folds on either side of this line, and I'm using the other two reference lines that I drew on the shirt to help with that. Once I have both sides fan folded, I'm going to hold those folds in place with some kite string as well. Once I have the shirt tied with kite string, I'm going to start at the end or the very center of my fan folds, and I'm going to begin spiraling the shirt. You can see where the tag of this shirt is, so that's where the neck of the shirt is. I'm going to try to spiral this shirt as tightly as I can. This is one time when it would be really nice to have great big huge hands. It would just make it a little bit easier. Once I get the shirt spiraled, I'm going to hold all of these folds in place with some more kite string. The reason why I'm using kite string is it's not going to interfere with dye flow. You know, if I use sinew, it would cause specific white lines in my shirt, which I don't really want. I want to allow the dye to move however the dye wants to move. So that's why I'm going to use some kite string. It's going to hold my folds nice and tight, but it's not going to interfere with the dye flow, and it won't cause any kind of definition lines in my shirt. I placed the shirt aside and I came back the next day to apply the dye, and the shirt is almost completely dry. I'm making this shirt to match a pair of Converse tennis shoes, and so I've chosen a pink and purple color palette. I know the dye is going to split, so it's not going to match perfectly, but hopefully it will go well with them. I made another shirt similar to this one, but with that shirt I used some liquid dye and I rack dyed the shirt. This time I'm going to go ahead and muck dye the shirt. So I'm going to place the shirt down inside of a container, and I'm going to start by using a washable marker to divide my shirt into 3 different sections. By the way, all I mean when I say that I'm going to muck dye a shirt is I'm going to place it inside of a container like this and let it process in the runoff from the melting ice that's mixed with the dye. That's the definition of muck. The first color I'm going to use is 80s pink from Dyespin, and I'm going to place a line of that on the divider lines that I drew on the shirt. Then I'm going to use Purple Twilight from Dyespin, and Purple Twilight is one of Dyespin's new dark horse colors, which basically just means that it's a color that is intended for ice dyeing, and it's supposed to have some really cool color splits. If you're looking for the dark horse colors, they're not in with their regular dyes. They have an actual page just for those dyes. Then I'm going to use Deep Purple from Dharma, and in the last section, I'm going to use English Violet from Dyespin. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of the dye before I apply the ice. I'd like for there to be quite a bit of muck after the ice melts, so I'm going to add a pretty thick layer of ice to the shirt. Then I'm going to place this container aside and allow the ice to melt. After the ice melted, I left it in a really warm spot for about 24 hours before I began rinsing it. To rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of continuing to rinse for a long time, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, and allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so I've washed and dried the shirt. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think about this one? I think it turned out really pretty. I like this design. You know, I did one of these before, but I rack dyed that one, and so I thought I would try this one and muck dye it. And I like the dark lines radiating on the shirt. That comes from sitting down in the muck. The colors turned out a little bit darker than I was thinking that they were going to, but part of that is from being done in the muck as well. But I think the shirt turned out really pretty. I do like the colors even though they're a little darker. And like I said, I like this design. I think it's kind of fun to do. But what do you guys think? Do you like this design? Do you like these colors? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.